This is a World War II episode. Now, I know the question you're probably asking yourself.
Libby, why are we talking about World War II? I learned about it in my boring art school. There's nothing remotely interesting about it.
That's where you're wrong, dickweed. A big thank you to IamRaptor1 on Twitter for suggesting this episode literally months ago. I'm slow as but I'm finally doing it, my dude. I'm Vibby, and on this episode of A Space Alien Explains, the battle for Castle Itter. It's May of 1945, and the war in Europe was reaching its end. Hitler had killed himself in his bunker on April 30th, but the soldiers of the German SS weren't ready to back down just yet. In the mountains of Austria sat an innocuous-looking castle, which was used as a prison facility to hold some high-profile POWs. Some of the prisoners included two former French prime ministers, the commander-in-chief of the French army, and a tennis pro. They all walked into a bar. The castle was known as Itter, and it would be the stage for the weirdest battle of the Second World War. As the Allies were coming in from the west, the German SS troops guarding Castle Itter decided that they wouldn't be laying down and surrendering. What they didn't expect, though, is that the prisoners wouldn't be laying down and surrendering either. On May 3rd, the POWs rebelled and killed one of the German leaders hanging out inside the prison. The commander of the prison, understandably not seeing any of this coming, promptly shit his pants and bailed, ordering the other troops to withdraw from the castle. And they left all their weapons behind. The jail boys are getting rowdy, we'll just let them have the place and all our weapons. Nothing will go wrong. Although the prisoners were now armed, they were still heavily outnumbered. The German SS would eventually return with reinforcements, and it was likely they wouldn't survive when they did. So a prisoner by the name of Andreas Krobot volunteered to sneak through the German lines on a bicycle to look for help. And here's the first plot twist of our story. Krobot did manage to find help. But the thing is, the help he found was not one of the Allied forces. He ran into Major Joseph Gongol, who was in fact a German soldier who had defied Hitler's orders and was assisting Austrian resistance fighters. Gongol agreed to help free the prisoners at Castle Itter, but more men were still needed. That same day, Gongol's group met up with an American reconnaissance division, led by Captain Jack Lee, who also agreed to help free the castle. So what were the numbers looking like? 10 German troops, 14 American troops, and a single tank, named Jenny. Kick some ass out there, Jenny. On May 5th, the SS returned to the castle with a force of around 150 men, and were met with gunfire from the mishmash group of French prisoners, American troops, and defected German soldiers. Jenny was putting in a lot of work to make sure the SS wouldn't reach the gates. Fuck yeah, Jenny, get them Nazis! While a radio operator was struggling to fix Jenny's broken communication system, an 88mm destroyed the tank, effectively stopping the castle from making any attempts to call for help. No, Jenny! Gongol was killed trying to protect the former French Prime Minister from gunfire, and ammunition was beginning to run low. Things were not looking good. But remember this guy? The tennis pro? What no one on either side realized is this man easily had the biggest balls in the room. And he was about to show everyone just how ginormous his balls really were. Just as they were about to be completely overpowered, Jean Borotra volunteered to jump over the castle walls and run directly through the SS lines. I mean, sure, go for it. If you really want to f***ing die, by some miracle he managed to survive and find the 142nd Infantry Regiment. Borotra led a relief force back to the castle, crushing the SS and rescuing the prisoners. Just 2 days later, on May 7th of 1945, Germany surrendered. And that was it. The war in Europe was over. The Americans and the Germans spent years fighting against each other, only for it to end with them fighting side by side at Castle Itter. It's poetic, in a really weird way. In fact, it was so poetic, Sabaton wrote a song about it. And it's awesome.
I don't really like Earth music that much.
It's okay, Pask, I understand.
Thank you.
I'm sorry no one on the planet you come from has any taste. Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. The featured fan art this week is by Hamsterboy Prime on Twitter. Link to the artist page is in the description. And here's some comments from the last video. In case you guys haven't noticed yet, we've just made it past 400 subscribers. It really does blow my mind that there's so many of you who like listening to me ramble about weird shit every week. So I just want to say thank you for all the likes, the messages, the comments, the fan art, everything. It really does motivate me to keep doing what I do. I am starting to think about what special thing we want to do when we get to 500, so if you do have any suggestions, throw them at me. I've had a couple of people suggest doing a Q&A video, but I'm honestly open to anything and nothing is set for sure. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you want to see more from this channel. Follow me on any of my social media, links are in the description. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next week.